Welcome to iiocs.com Food Tech Club. Today we will learn about preparation of fruits and vegetables for processing and minimally processed products. So I want to introduce about the topic. We know that, as in last class also I told you, the fruits and vegetables are most perishable commodities and they are very important ingredients in the human diet. Fruits and vegetables are seasonal in nature, means we will not get all the throughout the year. It is a seasonal, but we want to eat it throughout the year, means there should be some processing so that any of the, for example, mango is a seasonal fruit, but if we want eat, if we want enjoy that fruit throughout the year, means example fruity, maza, these and all the things, and also mango pickle are there. So these are the processed items where we can consume mango in different form. Throughout the year, mango is available in different form, not as a mango fruit, but those things will be utilized. So the fruits and vegetables are seasonal in nature. So we have to what happens actually during that production time, it will be busy schedule and it will become uneconomical because of the distress sale, because we will not have a control on the sale. So we have to, when there is a increase in the production, actually fruits and vegetables are required to everyone and it has to be distributed to everywhere, thinking that the farmers will grow more, but at the time of the harvesting, if we are not properly planned, if it is not properly handled, or it is not properly processed, or it is not properly utilized in proper way, then definitely the cost whatever it is involved in prevent in in creating these, in all the production, everything will go loss to the farmers. So now it is very, the food harvest losses has to be minimized, means it has to be handled properly and it has to be processed properly and utilized in proper way. So the cost involved in the preventing the losses are always cheaper than the cost of production. Hence, the processing receives greater attention in recent years. So, it has to be processed to avoid these post harvest losses. The fruits and vegetables are the in India, usually the processing industry are very unorganized. So, there is a gap is there that we have to plan with the systematically. So here you can see in the picture, see so many good atoms are there, but how it is the person, how he is selling. So these kind means many extra dirt thing will be there. So proper channel should be there, so that farmer should also get benefited and also the customer also get the very qualitative food. So for that the minimal processing is required and for the proper handling is required. The prominent proceeds atom are the fruit pulps and juice, fruit based ready to eat, ready to serve beverages, canned fruits and vegetables. Okay, canned fruits and vegetables, jams, squashes, pickles, chutneys, dehydrated vegetables, Like these many food products, we can see that once it is harvested, it has to be utilized in proper way. For example, the farmer will be producing the tomatoes, means so it has to be processed properly, because throughout the year we can't keep the tomatoes. So it can be converted into maybe the tomato pickle or tomato chutney, and what I can tell you, ketchup, sauce, these things can be converted and it can be stored. The tomatoes, whatever the farmer the harvested, it can be processed properly, and the losses can be minimized if we are taking care properly. So those things we have to understand. And more recently, the products like frozen pulps and the vegetables, pulps and vegetables in frozen form, and frozen dried fruits and frozen vegetables, fruit juice concentrates and vegetable curries, it 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 is available in restorable pouches. And canned mushroom products have also been taken up for the manufacture by the industry. These are all kinds, we can see, these are all the products it is required ma- to manage the post harvest losses to handle very proper manner. So these kind of products and new product development also can be done for the welfare of the humankind and the society. So in real life situation, preservation affects complex involving methods such as physical, physiochemical and chemical and biochemical phenomenon. And these phenomena, it never works in isolation. Altogether it has to be studied. What the chemical, all together, physical changes, physico-chemical and chemical and biochemical phenomena, everything together, it has to be studied. So we can see now how it has to be processed. So here we see, here in the picture we can see post harvest losses. So many good product only, because it is not taken care, so many it is dumped like anything. So here also we have to understand how it will get decay and how the spoilage will happen, how the it will be it will be spoiled, what and all the thing, how it can be taken care. These things we have to understand. So if we are taking the small scale industry or in the home also, what we have to do, if we want to, process, before processing, what are the preparation we have to take, we have to taken care for the fruits and vegetables, what we have to take care. So we have to buy the best fruits and vegetables whatever we find. So we have to buy the best fruits and vegetables. How to buy the best fruits and vegetables? Whenever we want to purchase, it should look fresh, and it is better to prefer locally grown produce. It is not that imported one is good. It is not like that. Locally grown produce only, it will suit for our, it will suit for our nature, our body nature, and also it is helpful for maintaining the freshness also. So it is all the question of the nutrients, definitely. So we have to check out the farmers market also, how the farmers market is going on, and local produce stands, and also our grocery store. So most grocery and food stores will carry the organic fruits and vegetables, which may be more expensive, but the organic one, it will provide guarantee that they were grown without chemicals and hormones, which is required to maintain the quality of fruits and vegetables. This is first one we have to take care. And second one, we have to wash our hands with warm soapy water for at least 20 seconds before we handle the food. This is important. And we have to dry our hand with a paper towel and clean the cloth. Next point is we have to rinse fruits and vegetables in clean water. Okay, so we have to run the food under the cold water to remove the bacteria, dirt, insects or pesticides. So washing of the fruits and vegetables also very important. In case of the onion, thinking that okay, outer cover we will be removing, no need of washing, it is not like that. We have to wash and we have to use the fruits and vegetables, and we should do this produce with the skin as well as such as in case of the banana and avocados. So we can use the clean vegetables, the vegetable brush to scrub atoms. It will be available with a firm surface such as melons and cucumbers. So these also it can be cleaned, and we have the after washing we have to dry the fruits and vegetables with the paper towel. So we have to use the towel to lightly lightly we have to pat the produce to absorb any remaining water, so that we have to remove the water from the fruit and vegetable. Then next comes to prepare. We have to prepare the food for eating. Okay, immediately we may eat, or we want to store it, or cooking. So by cutting off, how to do this one, we have to prepare the food means we have to the cut unnecessary stems or roots. We have to trim the leaves of celery, shuck and husks of, okay, the means from the corn. So we have to remove the stems from the grapes. So these things are the example I can tell. So whatever the food atom we will be taking, so we are going to prepare it for food means we will be removing some extra part of the maybe stem or root, and we will be trimming the leaves, maybe in the case of the coriander leaves also. So then only we will be using. Next coming to, we have to store now the preparation of the food is over. Now after that we have to store that freshly the produce in the refrigerator. We can't keep it open, then immediately its shelf life will go down. So we have to keep those fresh produce in a refrigerator. So items that whatever we plan to eat fresh, maybe the apples, carrot, oranges, cucumbers, those can be kept at room temperature. And if we want it has to be stay fresh for longer period of a time, then we have to maintain those things we have to keep in cool condition. Next coming to, so the preparation, like we have to cut the fruits and vegetables into large pieces. When we want to use, it is better to cut that vegetables and fruits into large pieces. Why? Because the pieces as the larger it will be, so it will minimize the time that it will spend the cooking or stewing in any liquid. So this will retain more nutrient. So it will, when the large pieces are there, so we can expect it will retain more nutrients. So it is better to cut the fruit and vegetable into large pieces. And next will the point which we have to taken care is, we have to cook the fruits and vegetables maybe by using the steaming or grilling, roasting, baking, microwaving or frying them. So these and all the cooking methods, different cooking methods you can use to make it the good palatable and to increase the shelf life of the fruit or vegetable product. So it can be mixed with other ingredients including meats, pasta, rice, and incorporated into breads and desserts. So these are the some of the point. Next point is, we have to, after preparation, we have to keep the frozen fruits and vegetables in freezer until that is we are ready for the using them. So before using only, it is not to keep outside. So if now I have to use that one means, So before half an hour I can remove and it can be kept for the room temperature. So we have to allow them to defrost before we cook, and eat them may affect the taste. And next we have to follow some specific preparation instruction for any recipes or techniques that we are using to cook or store the fruits and vegetables, because it is processed fruits and vegetables are there, minimally processed means we have to take on care, and we have to preserve the fruits and vegetables by using the processing methods. Maybe it is recommended by USDA or the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, that is FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization. Those will be recommended processing methods like dehydration, heat processing, and chemical preservation. These are the some of the processing methods which are recommended by FAO. Here also the pictures tells that while selecting the fruit means we should be aware of the, this is one example of the mango where you can see the unripe Alfonso and Baganpalli this variety, and Alfonso is one variety of the mango. So the different variety will have its unripe period, how many days, and early ripe, how it will look and how many days it will take, and again partially ripe, how many days it will take to partially ripening and how it looks, and ripening of mango, how many days it will take, how many days it will stay in the ripening condition, and how it looks. Overripe, it start decaying. If it is overripe, definitely start decaying, and how many days it will stay. It is just once it is overripe, just you can see 18 means 1 or 2 days it will start decaying. That is what senescent means, growth is stopped. Once the growth is stopped, so we can see that if it is not once the growth is stopped, it has to be processed properly, otherwise it will start decaying. So same in case of other variant also. Now we will understand the different process means before processing what and all the preparation means. It may be the freezing, or it may be the canning, or it may be the drying. Those things we will understand. In case of the fruits and vegetables, what are the different preparation we have to do. So freezing, it is a low temperature preservation process where the products is frozen at minus 38 degrees Celsius to, and it is stored, it has to be frozen at minus 38 degrees Celsius and it is stored at minus 18 degrees Celsius. This freezing is cheaper than canning, and frozen products are next I am going to tell about the canning. So we can understand freezing is cheaper than the canning, and the frozen products are close to fresh products. That is because it will give the better quality. The reason behind that is metabolic activity and spoilage due to post harvest chemical are retarded by the freezing. Since the temperature is less, so metabolic activity and the spoilage due to post harvest chemicals are retarded by the freezing. Through the product preserved by the freezing retains their quality will be the appreciable. We can appreciate its quality. And major disadvantages of the process is that the lower temperature has been maintained during the handling, transportation and storage, and before the product is finally consumed. It is very difficult to maintain the temperature during the handling and transportation and storage. Okay, before the product the finally consumed, it is difficult to maintain the temperature. And suitable fruits and vegetables for freezing are mango slices, pulp, mango pulp also, and pineapple slices, guava slices, orange segments. See, these and all we know, the freshly eaten orange and all. So the orange segments and guava slices can be from it is available in the frozen thing, peas and all, most of the people will be aware, carrot, cauliflower, beans, etc. So these are the suitable fruits and vegetables, because it has to be, the shelf life has to be increased, and it has to be transported through many of the places, because of the nowadays the lifestyle is changed, everyone is working. So we are not having a time of going to the market and purchasing this one. So these frozen items are very much, we are depending on these frozen fruits and vegetables. And when compared to the most other food preservation methods, freezing requires the least amount of the food preparation. So before storing, the some things has to be the preparation has to be done, like under optimal condition it has to be best nutrient and flavor and texture retention. If we want to maintain the best nutrient and best flavor and best textural retention, means there is some, we have to prepare before storing, we have to prepare the food, means maybe the cleaning and all. So since the food remains microbiologically safe during the freezing, its shelf life is determined by chemical and physical changes that occur during the storage. See, in case of the freezing, we can tell microbiologically it is safe. It is a safe, but how the shelf life we can determine then. So chemical changes and physical changes, by means of that one we can tell the shelf life of the product. So IQF, this IQF refers to individual quick freezing. So individual quick freezing of every particle or aggregate using fluidization in the stream of a very cold air. So fluidization leads to high heat transfer coefficient, and therefore very rapid freezing and hence better quality. Here individual quick freezing, name only is telling quick, so within a short period of a time it reaches to the low temperature, so we can get the better quality. So for example, freezing of a green peas in an air blast freezer, it may take 3 to 4 hours, whereas it is only 10 to 12 minutes by individual quick freezing. See the minute and hour, how difference. In case of blast freezer, it will take the 3 to 4 hours, and in case of the IQF, that is individual quick freezing, blast also tells soon only, even then 3 to 4 hours. In case of the quick freezing, 10 to 12 minutes. So that will give the good quality. So this results in for better texture, and there is no hump or block formation. Some of other important individual quick freezing products are frozen fruit, dices and cut vegetables are the example. Now equipments for freezing. The equipments we can name like freezer or cold room, quick freezing equipments, fluidized bed freezer, automatic package freezer, continuous plate freezer, continuous can freezer, direct immersion equipments like brine freezer, frog freezer and rotating cold drum, foot operating polythene bag sealer. These are the some of the equipments of the freezing. And methods of freezing. So in case of the method of freezing, the quick freezing is carried out at the temperature 0 to 40 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. And sharp freezing is carried out at the temperature minus 15 degrees Celsius to minus 29 degrees Celsius for 3 to 72. And next cryogenic will be, it is carried out at the minus, that is minus 196 degrees Celsius. And dehydro freezing is it is like here 50% of the moisture is removed. So we can see in the flow chart, this is the flow chart, I can see where the preparation of the frozen fruits and vegetables. See, as we already told, just I am making it overall view, that is, as I told already, we have to select fruits and vegetable good quality one, and it has to be graded. So it may be the mechanical grading or it may be the manual. Based on the size, shape, color and uniform quality, we are grading the fruit and vegetable. Next, coming to washing. So in case of washing, it may be the mechanical washing or it may be the manual washing. Maybe we are using the spray, it may be sprayed with the chlorine water or running with the potable water. After washing, we are going to trim it or we are going to peel or deshelling, coring, depending upon the what type of the fruit or what type of the vegetable. So based on that, peeler is used to trim or peeling or deshelling or coring. Next, after the peeling or trimming, so size reduction will happen. So after size reduction, then immediately it has to go for the blanching process. So in the blanching, what we are going to do is, here the temperature we are going to maintain, that is 80 to 85 degrees Celsius for 3 to 5 minutes, maybe by using the hot water or maybe the steam blanching. Where the steam blanching, steam is used, where the perforated cabinet will be used. In hot water blanching means it is dipped in the for 3 to 5 minutes, maintaining the temperature. So immediately after blanching, it is moved to the cooling section. So once it is cooled, then it has to be syruping. So in the syruping, what syrup we are using is maybe the sugar, based on the what kind of the fruit we are using and what type of the vegetable. So depending fruits, we can't use the brine, means salt solution we can't use. So sugar is the thing. So total soluble solids may be like 10 to 25 degree, means the bricks will be 10 degree to 25 degree bricks in case of the syruping, and in which it contains 2% of the ascorbic acid. Okay, so once it is syruping is done, then it has to be filled. Once it is filled in the sterilized container, then packing and sealing. It may be the manual packing or sealing, or it may be the automatic sealer. So immediately after packing, it has to be freezed. Means the freezing, it has to be stored at minus 18 degrees Celsius. So these are the things I told you. Before freezing, some pre-preparation is required. Then only the good flavor and all, good texture and all, it will come. So these are the pre-preparation. So once the packing and sealing, then the freezing is carried out, then it has to be stored at a minus 18 degrees Celsius. This is freezing. Next, coming to the dehydration. So dehydration is nothing but it is a removal of moisture from fruits and vegetables by artificially produced heat under a controlled condition of temperature and relative humidity and airflow. Means there is a controlled condition of temperature is there, relative humidity, airflow. These three things are maintained for the dehydration. We are removing the moisture by maintaining the temperature, relative humidity and airflow. So in dehydration, sufficient moisture is removed so that the product is free from the spoilage. So because moisture is a culprit to spoil, so we are removing the moisture and maintaining the moisture content for the freshness but this must be done in such a way to preserve the food value as possible, means freshness has to be maintained. So rate of dehydration is so done in hygienic condition to have a products of uniform color than the sun dried. See, sun dried means color will be, it looks dull. So if we are maintaining the temperature, relative humidity and airflow and rate of dehydration, then we can expect the uniform color. Color will not be loosened. So dehydration reduces the bulk. The weight can be reduced because the weight will be the moisture will be evaporated. Definitely size will be reduced and requires less storage place and usually cheaper that the other methods of the preservation. It is cheaper also and it reduces the bulk also and it requires less storage place because the size reduction will happen after dehydration. And the suitable fruits and vegetables for dehydration are grape, dry grape we know, date, fig, raw mango, anola and lychee, apricot, banana, apple, carrot, leafy vegetables. These are the we can dehydrate, and specification also will be there. So according to that one we have to carry the dehydration. So always the according to FPO specification, for dehydrated fruits and vegetables, moisture content shall not exceed 20% and 24% weight by weight respectively. So this is important. The moisture content, it should not exceed, means if more moisture is retained, means moisture it is yielding to spoilage. And fruits and vegetables used for drying should be clean, and it should be practically it should be free from the insect and fungal attack. When you are maintaining in proper packing material, definitely it will be free from the insect and fungal attack. And dehydrated product may contain permitted preservation preservatives. Okay. And the equipments used for dehydration are blanching unit. So blanching unit, it can be used for pre-treatment, as I already told, steam blanching for fruits and vegetables. Before processing, the blanching has to be done to avoid the browning. And type of dryer used, like kiln dryer for the pieces, and cabinet or tray dryer again for the pieces, and purees, liquids, tunnel dryer, continuous conveyor belt, and uh, like airlift will be there, spraying will be there, vacuum dryer will be there, fluidized bed dryer, drum or roller will be there, roller dryer, drum dryer, which is for liquid and purees, spray dryer is for liquid, vacuum dryer for purees, and for liquids also, for pieces also. Like this, different dryers are used for the different product based on the size. And vacuum dryer, it is used for dehydration of fruits and vegetables without any change in the sensory attribute, because vacuum dryer where the, so that is also very good, so that we can maintain the sensory attributes. So here also some flow chart, we can see the pre-preparation and all same. It is the same. We have to select the fruits and vegetables in good condition, and we have to grade based on the size, and we have to wash it, maybe mechanical or manual. Then here trimming has to be done, then size reduction will happen, blanching, and it has to be after the blanching we have to cool it. Here there we used syrupping, here we are drying. So here once after blanching, after once it get cools, this is the different step in the drying, that is we are going to do sulfiting or sulfuring. So where the 0.1% of KMS, potassium metabisulfate, is used, we are dipping, and otherwise 1.8 to 3.6 gram per 1000 kg of the fruits per it is for 10 minutes we are dipping that one. Okay, so this is the solution we are maintaining. Once after that, it is we are tending to drying, so it will be, shelf life will be increased. So the dry dehydration is carried out at a temperature 60 degrees Celsius. So after that, packing, so it has to be packed at a airtight tin container or polythene bag, then it can be stored. Okay, because it is dried, it will be stored in the room temperature also. Then another technique, otherwise another pre-preparation before the processing, for long processing, it can be canned also. So canning is a method of a food preservation. So canning may be defined as a heating or sealing of the food material in hermetically sealed container. Hermetically sealed means airtight, and it may be the fruit canning. So the most important fruits for canning like mango, pineapple, guava, lychee, cherry, strawberry, jackfruit, these and all the fruits we can take an example for the fruit canning. The specification like how we have to do the canning, what the specification we have to follow. The head space where you can find in the any packaging, any container, if you are seeing there is a space will be there. So the head space in the can shall not be more than 1.6 centimeter. So these things we have to remember. 1.6 centimeter headspace, it should not be more than that, and the drained weight of the fruit shall not be less than 50%. So after means the freshness to be maintained. If for example 100 gram of the weight of the sample one fruit is there, means it has to be dried up to 50 gram only. 50% of the weight has to be retained, and fruit should be firm, and no preservative shall be added. Here in case of the canning, preservative is not required because the process is only is like that. It will take care of the shelf life of the product, and no artificial color shall be present, and the can shall not show any positive pressure at sea level and shall not show any sign of bacterial growth when included at 37 degrees Celsius for a week. Then we can say the process it is processed properly, otherwise some contamination will happen. So equipments for required for canning are fruit cutter or slicer, blancher, it may be the water blancher or it may be the steam blancher. And because before canning also, before drying also, before freezing also, blanching is important, because to avoid the browning reaction, enzymatic browning reaction. So browning has to be controlled by inactivating the enzymes. So after blanching, the canning equipments like double steamer, flanger, and next retorting equipment where the sterilization, okay, it is carried out, retorting is done, the where the proper the temperature and pressure is maintained. Then so because of the retorting equipment, the retorting, this is the process where we can tell because of this process, because of this temperature, high temperature, there is no requirement of the preservative, there is no requirement of the color also, because the process is only like that. And next we require can opener and exhaust unit. Canning material like what material it is canned, the tin plate can or aluminum can, these are the cans we are using. So vegetable, we understood about the fruits canning. Now vegetable canning. So in vegetable canning, the specific requirement for brine strength. In fruit will go with the sweet and vegetable will go with the salt. So brine strength and exhaust processing temperature, time and types of cans, etc. These are required. So suitable vegetables for canning like examples like cauliflower, carrot, peas, okra, beans, cabbage, etc. So the mushroom also can be canned. So these are the example for the vegetable canning. Some of the specification like the head space in the can shall not be more than 1.6, same there also 1.6 centimeter, here also 1.6 centimeter, it should not exceed. And the drained weight here also same, it shall not be less than 55% except in tomato 50%. And no addition of the preservative and no artificial color shall be present except in case of the peas. So in case of the peas, a certain amount of the color is allowed, and the can shall not show any sign of the bacterial growth when incubated at 37 degrees Celsius for a week. For a week when we are doing the incubation, there should not show any growth of the bacteria. Means how it can be understood, it may bulging may happen, so we can understand. So process of canning, In the process of canning, selection of fruits and vegetables. So fruits and vegetables should be absolutely fresh, and fruit should be ripened, but it should be firm, not overripe. As I already shown in case of the mango, it should not be overripe, it should be firm and uniformly mature, and overripe fruit should be rejected because they are infected with the microorganisms and give the poor quality of the product. So we have to avoid the overripe fruits, and unripe fruits should be rejected because they generally it will be like toughen on the canning. Okay, and the taste also it will not come to the proper standard. So all vegetables except tomatoes should be tender. Okay, except tomato, all the vegetables should be tender. Tomato should be firm and fully ripe and deep red color, then it is nothing but it is good tomato. And fruits and vegetables should be free from the dirt, and they should be free from this insect damage and mechanical injury. Those things we have to check. And next, coming to grading. So the in case of the canning, the grading, the selected fruits and vegetables are graded according to the size and color to obtain the uniform quality. So this is done by hand or by machines such as a screw grader or roller grader. So fruits like berries, plums and cherries are graded whole, or while peaches, pears, apricot, mangoes, pineapples, etc., these are generally graded after cutting into the pieces or slices. After cutting only you will come to know based on that it will be graded. And next, coming to the washing. So it is important to remove the pesticide with spray and some spray residues will be there, na? So and dust from the fruits and vegetables. 1 gram of a soil contains 1012 spores of the microorganisms. Therefore, the removal of the microorganisms by washing with the water is very much essential. And fruits and vegetables can be washed in different ways. The root crops that loosen in the soil are washed by soaking in the water containing the 25 to 50 parts per million chlorine as a detergent. And other method of washing are spray washing or steam washing, etc. It may be washed by spray or steam washing. Next, coming to the peeling. So peeling, it is the main objective of the peeling is to remove the outer layer. So peeling may be done in the various ways, maybe by means of the hand peeling, steam peeling or mechanical peeling, lay peeling or flame peeling. In last class little bit I have given you the hints about the peeling also. And cutting. So cutting, the pieces of the size required for the canning are cut, and the seed, stone and the core are removed. And some fruits like a plum from the plum from which the seeds has to be removed and it has to be canned whole. So and blanching, it is also known as a scalding or paraboiling or pre-cooking. Blanching. Okay, so fruits are generally not blanched, leaving the oxidizing enzyme system active. Okay, sometimes fruits are plucked for a given time from a half to that is up to 5 minutes according to the variety into the water at the maybe 180 degree Fahrenheit to 200 degree Fahrenheit, and then immediately it is cooled by the immersion in the cold water. So the objective is to soften the texture and to so as to enable a greater weight to be pressed into the container without damaging to the individual fruit. So blanching is usually done in case of the vegetables by exposing them to boiling water or steam for 2 to 5 minutes followed by the cooling. So the uses, what is the uses of this one is it will inactivate, mainly the blanching, it will inactivate the most of the plant enzymes which causes the toughness or discoloration, that is the enzyme is polyphenol oxidase, and also the mustiness of flavor it will give these peroxidase enzyme. So those will be inactivated, and also the softening and loss of the nutritive value can be it will these enzymes will do these things. Softening and loss of the nutritive value will be happen because of these enzymes. So we are going to inactivate the plant enzyme, that is polyphenol oxidases and peroxidases, so has to avoid the off flavor and mustiness and discoloration and all we can avoid. This is the importance of the blanching. And it will reduce the area of the leafy vegetables such as the spinach by shrinkage and wilting, making their package easier. So really after blanching it will look very fresh, and the shrinkage will not happen, and it removes the tissue gases which reduce the sulfides. See, it will remove the, when the temperature we are carrying out, na, so it will remove the tissue gases, so it will reduce the sulfides. By means reducing the sulfides, it will reduce the tissue gases and reduce the number of microorganisms by as much as 99% of the microorganisms will be removed by means of the blanching. And it will enhance the green color of the vegetables, as in case of the peas, broccoli, spinach. Definitely, this is my own experience also. When we are blanching, definitely it looks like very fresh and very, that it will enhance the green color. It is will be more appealing, and it will remove the saponin in case of the peas, which is anti-nutritional factor saponin, and it will remove the undesirable acids and astringent taste of the peel, and thus improves the flavor. So these many are the good importance are there of the blanching. And also blanching removes the skin of the vegetables such as the beetroot and tomatoes, which help in their peeling. So easily we can do the peeling. And after the blanching it has to be cooled. So it has to be, the vegetables are dipped in a cold water for better handling and keeping them in a good condition. It is will be cooled. And next, coming to the filling. So before filling, cans are washed with a hot water and sterilized, but in developing countries these are subjected to a jet of the steam to remove the dust and foreign material. And automatic large can filling machines are used in advanced countries, but choices grades of the fruits are normally filled by hand to prevent the bruising in the India. So hand filling is common practice in India. So after filling, covering with a syrup or brine is done, and this process is called as a syruping or brining. After this canning, then exhausting. Once it is filling is done, then after filling, exhausting. So the exhausting means the process of removal of the air from the can. So while processing, the air may come in contact with the atmosphere, so that has to be removed. So air from the cans will be removed by means of the exhausting. So after filling and lidding or clinching, the exhausting is essential. The major advantages of the exhausting is corrosion of the tin plate and pinholing during the storage is avoided. Gas is removed by means of the exhausting, then corrosion will not. Corrosion mainly when the oxygen will be there, then that time corrosion will happen. Because of that, pinholing will start. So to avoid that one, the exhausting can be done. And it will minimize the discoloration by preventing the oxidation. If the air is there, then definitely once the air, it will come in contact with the air, oxidation will happen. Then the air, by means of the exhausting, air is removed and oxidation is so that it will prevent the discoloration, and helps in the better retention of the vitamins, particularly vitamin C, and prevents the building of the cans when it is stored in a hot climate and also the high altitude. And it reduces the chemical reaction between the container and the contents. This process exhausting, it will reduce the chemical reaction, and it prevents the development of excessive pressure and strain during the sterilization. So these are the importance of exhausting. And also the containers are exhausted either by heating or mechanically. The heat treatment is the method by which is generally used and the cans are passed through a tank of the hot water at 82 to 87 degrees Celsius, or it will be moved on a belt through a converted steam box. In a water exhaust box, the cans are placed in such a manner that the level of the water is 4 to 5 centimeter below the tops. The exhaust box is heated till the temperature of water reaches to 82 to 100 degrees Celsius, and the center of the can shows the temperature of about 79 degrees Celsius. The time of the exhausting varies from the 6 to 1 minute, depending on the nature of the product. So in the case of the glass jars or bottles, vacuum closing machines are generally used. The bottles or jars are placed in a closed chamber in which a high vacuum is maintained. It is preferably to exhaust the cans at a lower temperature for a longer period to ensure uniform heating of the contents without softening them into pulp. So this is the very beautiful technique which all the things will be carried out to increase the shelf life. And exhausting at a high temperature should be avoided, because the higher the temperature, the more is the volume of the water vapor formed, and consequently the greater the vacuum produced in a can. And after exhausting, sealing has to be done. So immediately after exhausting, the cans are sealed airtight by means of the can sealer. In case of the glass jar, a rubber ring should be placed between the mouth of the jar and the lid, so that it can be sealed airtight. During sealing, the temperature should not fall below the 74 degrees Celsius. So next, after sealing, processing. So it has to be processed. Heating of the food for preserving is known as a processing. So however, in canning technology, processing means heating or cooling of canned foods to inactivate the bacteria. So many bacterial spores can be killed by either high or very low temperature, such as drastic treatment, however, affects the quality of the food. So processing time and temperature should be adequate to eliminate all bacterial growth. So moreover, overcooking should be avoided. There are chances are there to cook over, so that has to be avoided. If it is cooked more, then definitely flavor, appearance, everything will go, means it will be under problem. So almost all fruits and vegetables, it has to be processed satisfactorily at a temperature of about 100 degrees Celsius, that is in boiling water. The presence of acid retards the growth of the bacteria and their spores. Further, they do not thrive in heavy sugar syrup, which is normally used for canning of the fruits. So vegetables, except the more acid ones like tomato and which are non-acid in nature, have a hard texture and proximately to soil, which may infect them with a spore bearing organism, are processed at a higher temperature of the 115 to 121 degrees Celsius. So we have to maintain the pH also, that is, for example, for the bacterial spores to avoid, pH will be 4.5, and also the bacterial spores can more easily destroyed at a pH 3, and in case of the fruits and pH 5 and 6. So these things, the pH also we have to taken care. So here I can tell you the schematic flow chart. So we have to same whatever I told, same the selection, grading and washing. Here just syruping and filling, exhausting, whatever I explained, same thing. So please remember the temperature also. So minimally processed vegetables means it has to be processed very means very short way. The nutritive value will be very good. It has to be processed, not a ultra processing, not a high processing, very minimal processing is done. So that is what we are calling it as a minimal processed fruits. Means just wrapping or just peeling, just maintaining the temperature. So this is very important nowadays, because everyone wants minimally processed, because highly processed will have the less nutrients comparing to minimally processed. So here you can see the picture where the minimal process is done. You can see the percentage of the side reduction also, and how they are maintaining in case of the carrot and in case of the onion and cabbage. You can remember the temperature and also the what and all it will happen. So I think by this I want to end the session. So goodbye for today. For any enquiry, call or WhatsApp to a number whatever available on the screen. So we will meet again in the platform. So and I will request you to continue your preparation with iiocs.com. Thank you.